For years, Starbucks has had a reputation of expanding relentlessly in different cities and suburbs. But times have changed since then. Factors like inflation, competition from independent coffee shops, and consumer shifts have hurt Starbucks' bottom line. Recently, Starbucks announced that it will close 1% of its stores in North America. The closures and layoffs of 900 corporate employees are a part of a $1 billion restructuring plan. The plan is basically to shut down the stores that weren't seeing any profits. Closing roughly 400 stores is like a rounding error for Starbucks. They have more than 32,000 locations worldwide, and they still have plans to open new stores next year. Closures were driven by consumers who moved away from urban areas during the pandemic. Because of this, they decided to get rid of leases in areas that have less business. Starbucks has been getting pushed out by independent coffee shops, growing chains like Blank Street Coffee, Blue Bottle, and drive-through companies such as Dutch Bros. And let's not forget about their prices. Now, with the layoffs taking full effect, here's what some former employees had to say.
Okay, there is a lot I have to say with the firing that has been going on within the company. And, I'm going to be so real with you guys for a second. I always say I've worked for the company for 9 years, and I've seen a lot of changes. Partners who have been here longer than I have can attest that changes happen with the company. That's understandable. Maybe I'm just becoming unk status, but this changes that has been going on feels like a tipping point. And especially after this weekend, I really don't, it doesn't feel like the company I started with, to be honest. And I've known Starbucks has been a multi-million-dollar company, and they're usually greedy since I started. I know what I signed up for. But the way this past weekend round of firing was handled is baffling. For those of you who don't know, a bunch of stores closed around the nation. Groceries got closed. I know Seattle and Chicago got closed. And they announced this on Friday. They weren't going to tell who was actually let go and who was just going to be transferred due to their store closures until Sunday. And after these people worked 2 days straight to close their stores, some of which were still thinking they would be transferred to another store, were then told by email that they are let go. And like I said in my other video, with this job market, you should give these people severance for at least 6 months. I know that's very generous and companies don't have to do that, but Starbucks always wanted to be a good company and could set the example, and I know they have the money for it. Our CEO takes plane rides from Seattle to California most of his days. A plane ride from Seattle to Los Angeles, which I assume he goes, is anywhere between $12,000 and $3,300. Sorry. I'm gonna average out to $22,000 and say he does a hybrid schedule where he only goes to work 3 days out of the week. Multiply that by 4 to get 4 weeks for a month. You multiply that by 12, you get $3.168 million. And our CEO gets $1.6 million on a base salary and $23 million within equity grants. $10 million cash signing bonus. Now, taking the average salary of a barista to a store manager, you get about $30. That's where the 30 comes from. Times 40, if you do 40 hours a week, which not everyone does, you get $1,200. Multiply that by 4 is $4,800. Multiply that by the 900 people that have been let go is $4.3 million. Now, I won't lie, the numbers aren't matching up where it looks really, really bad, but you literally could have taken his $23 million signing bonus, maybe just given him $19 million and use that extra $4 million to have a vested rainy day fund for the people you might have to let go. And as a CEO, I would feel bad letting people's jobs go when you have been flaunting that things are going to get better for everyone. And I personally would have taken some of that money, set it aside for the company, and had that to be able to pay these baristas. That's something you could have done. You have equity within the company and it's not doing well. So you take the equity that you are losing technically, just get rid of it and give it to the baristas to make sure that they actually can leave Starbucks in a better spot. Because now all these people, and including people that still work for the company, are pissed the fuck off how you handled this. How is it the little people's fault that you guys hire too much and things aren't going your way and we all have to suffer? And again, I haven't been able to do the math for the corporate people. I know the 1,000 people in corporate have been let go. That's a whole different can of worms. Those people should also be paid. I don't know what their severance packages are, but I have a feeling that their packages are probably way higher for severance for them versus us. And I'm not saying pay-wise, they probably got the similar pay that they were getting, but maybe they got a couple months worth of severance versus 2 weeks, if that. Again, I know people are going to be in the comments saying we're all being greedy for wanting more than 2 weeks of severance, but it's not our fault that your company is failing. There's a high chance I'm gonna get a call from corporate after this, and I'm gonna have a talk with someone, and I might lose my job. But this pisses me off so much. Final note for this. Any barista that has been let go, I am sorry that the company I've worked for 9 years has failed you. It shouldn't have. And I know we're all cogs in a giant industrial capitalistic machine. And I wish I had better advice. I wish I could guarantee that things were going to be better for you after this. And I can only imagine what emotions you are going through in this moment right now. And it is, I know it's not fun. I've really always wished that Starbucks could be the company that it really flaunts itself to be. You know, they do have some good things, paying for school, benefits, retirement, everything like that. They set a standard, but then that became normal for every other company and they didn't progress any further. Now, all they care about is profits over people, and we are going to suffer for it. To the customers that lost the regular stores, you can help. Different ways I could help. Boycotting Starbucks. Make coffee at home. Follow me. I'll give you tips to save money and make coffee at home if it comes down to it. Call corporate. I know no one likes calling. Tell them you're pissed the fuck off. Tell them you lost your favorite store. And because of that, you're not coming back. Try to convince your friends as well. Only way this company will listen is if the customers bitch and complain enough, or their wallets are dried up enough and Starbucks can't siphon any more money out of you. I don't have a good ending to this TikTok. I've already been speaking for 5 fucking minutes. I'm angry, I'm upset. I wish I had better information. I wish I had a more of a gotcha moment for the company, but give it 6 months. This is going to be bridge on the water and everyone's going to forget. And I'm pissed that that's how it's going to be. So until next time, I guess.
Hey, if you're enjoying the video so far and you would love to see more content like this, please consider subscribing and leaving a like.
So I figured I'll share because many others have, and honestly, it's helped me a little bit throughout this situation. So let's get into it. Last Monday, 9/22, I made 11 years as a Starbucks partner. Thursday, I think that was the 25th. Our CEO announced layoffs, and on Friday, I was impacted and I was laid off. Yep. We just smile about it, because if not, we will cry about it. So when the email came out on Thursday, my heart sank and I was just trying to stay positive. I mean, I was leaving for a family vacation Friday, so I was scheduled to be off on vacation anyway, but I just had a gut feeling. It didn't feel good, but I pushed through. I got all my work done, and I'm like, it's gonna be all right. But something in my spirit and my soul said different, you know? So literally prepared for the vacation, got my kids situated. They left and took a different route to our vacation in Reno. And then my husband and I were flying out the following morning. So I'm like, okay, today's the day. I'm not sure how they're going to notify folks, but I'm going to stay positive. So literally from my personal phone, as my husband and I are in an Uber on our way to the airport, I am texting my team, because we're close, like we're like family, like those are my people, and I'm just sending them a prayer. Like I sent them a prayer, just, you know, asking for coverage, you know, healing. Like, you know, it's uncomfortable. We all have anxiety. We're all just freaking out. So I'm sending out these text messages in the Uber ride, and I'm sending them out. And one of my colleagues, when I get in the airport and we're getting ready to walk through TSA, she hits me up and she's like, hey, it looked like mass emails went out this morning at like 6. I'm like, huh? So I dig in my purse and I go pick up my work phone to see if I have an email. And I'm looking, and my heart literally dropped. Yep. We're walking through TSA. And I'm like, oh. So I'm like reading it and I'm like just in disbelief. So I call my colleague and I'm like, yo, and I'm like stuttering. I am just going through the motions. And I'm like, I got an email. And she's just like, no. And I'm like choking back tears. I'm trying to get my ID out. So I get off the phone with her, give them my ID so they could check it. I immediately call my boss and I'm like, I got an email. She's just distraught too. And I'm trying not to cry. So I'm just kind of like, oh my God. So then, my partner in crime who I work closely with, I called him too. And he's like, you got to be kidding me. And I'm just like, I'm not. And at this point now I'm crying. And I'm crying. And I'm just like, wow. And I'm just like, what a way to kick off your Friday. What a way to kick off your vacation. With that, I get to my destination. I'm just still just like blah. I'm just like in so much disbelief. My husband, such a trooper, trying to cheer me up and he let me know like we'll be all right. He got us. And I'm just like, wow. Just like, I'm still just so shocked. Yeah, I just still so shocked. So we finally land at our destination and, my husband hyping me up. I had some colleagues reaching out. They're like really sad. A lot of people, even the original partner that hired me reached out and, everybody sending me such nice messages and it was just overwhelming. It was a lot of love, but it was just overwhelming. Some of my friends and stuff like that, I just was distraught. I have kids, I got bills and it's just like, wow. So we get to our resort. Guess what they have? A Starbucks. I'm just like, oh, just so mad and just like, oh, just upset. We go eat. I have a drink and I'm just like, okay. And then, fast forward to the evening because I'm not trying to ruin our family vacation. We had a lot of family that was flying out and coming in for this birthday celebration for my auntie. And I didn't want to make it about me. So I kept it to myself between me and my husband. Later that evening, those emails start rolling out in regards to separation. Like, hey, this is how it's going to go from here. And it was just like jab after jab after jab. And I'm just like, wow, they just cut us off. No access to your phone, no access to your computer. Get your stuff off of there. If you got any personal stuff off of there, you won't have no access, blah, 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 blah. It just felt like such a bad breakup. And I'm like, wow. So I felt the way I did. I felt the absolute way. I gave y'all 11 years.
I am one of the 900 employees that has gotten laid off at Starbucks. I've been a barista shift supervisor for 10 years. So today is my last day serving my customers. Tomorrow is my last day seeing my team. I don't even know how to feel about it. My emotions are all over the place. I'm still feeling a little numb to it. I'm like, one of those people that I have to, the last day has to happen for me. So, it's just bittersweet. I've been with the company for 10 years. Everybody that I'm about to say goodbye to, I've worked with for at least 6 years or more. The less being 1 year. So this is my second home, and it's really heartbreaking because this is not a typical release. This is really happening because it's a big deal. It's a broader scale for Starbucks. 400 stores closed, 900 workers laid off. Starbucks has 32,000 Starbucks. So this is tough for me. So I'm going in here today to work my last day. And it's really heartbreaking. So I'm gonna go in here and have a good time with my workers today, and tomorrow I find out if I still have a job.
I can totally tell you what I did. I wasn't in marketing. I wasn't a non-retail employee. I didn't work in the support center. I actually was a district manager in the license business based in Alaska with a portfolio of stores all around the state that I supported. And I was in stores every day. So yeah, it was a shock to say the least. waking up the second day is like a different set of emotions. The first day, no one knew who was being laid off, so it was like reaching out to your peers and your friends who have become like family to just check in, and like a sigh of relief for every person I talked to that still had a job, that got a job offer in a new role, and then a sense of like support and camaraderie for those of us that didn't. But I got my start as a shift supervisor, so I worked my way up from an hourly employee in stores to where I was.
When it comes to restructuring, Starbucks plan to revive sales. Some locations will implement open AI-powered chatbot to remind baristas of drink recipes and assist them with equipment troubleshooting. This move could help streamline hiring and efficiency, but it also carries with it pitfalls of AI, including the potential of outages and the potential of eliminating certain jobs. But Starbucks is betting on AI to give its baristas some extra help behind the counter. Earlier this year, they launched Green Dot Assist. It's an AI-powered virtual assistant intended to simplify baristas' job and fulfill orders faster. Starbucks will pilot the technology at 35 locations and roll it out nationwide next year. The AI assistant will pull recipe cards of drinks to show baristas how to make them, as well as suggesting swaps if ingredients run out. Although the use of AI could be seen as beneficial, honestly I feel like the need for restructuring is due to Starbucks wanting to eliminate certain roles.
And they had this iconic Seattle roastery, and all of a sudden that Starbucks is closing, but there are many stores that are being laid off. Almost 900 non-retail employees will be laid off. The Great Reconstructing is what we call what they're doing to replace positions with AI. Now, people was wondering at the start of this administration why so many people in a lot of state, local governments was losing their jobs. I truly believe that there is a reconstructing that is taking place because AI is a priority with this administration. We all know what AI is going to lead to. We've all talked about it concerning biblical prophecy, and we know ultimately that AI has very quickly rose to the occasion and is implemented in our everyday lives. Prepare between 12 to 18 months from today. Be prepared. There's going to be more large layoffs because of all of these different major corporations. What they're doing is they're looking at what jobs are being duplicated. And if any job is being duplicated, they're going to replace it with AI. With Starbucks, they not only is letting go of corporate employees, but even your baristas and things of that nature. This is major. AI is going to be second nature. I've been seeing there is another coffee that is like company that's on the rise where you can order it right with the machine and it gives it to you right out the machine. You pay right there and you go on your way. So that in itself tells you what is to come. When you go into a lot of the CVS's, they have where you can pay right with the machines. A lot of places are going to that. Walmart started it back some time ago before AI was really on the rise. But Starbucks, to close these layoffs, workers, this is like a $1 billion reconstructing plan that they are doing. We know indefinitely where AI is going to lead us, the road that we are going down. And this is so tricky. This is so tricky because in our everyday lives, we are getting used to using AI in some type of way in our lives. AI is being used.